Okay, so today I'm going to be giving you some information about why being vegan is actually easier for Africans. Yes, Africans. Now, in case anybody doesn't know, yes, I'm African. Very, very proud African. Yes, being vegan is absolutely easier for African, and I'm going to give you some facts. Like, I'm not even going to give you any opinions. Just going to give you straight facts, and you can deal with it or you can leave it alone, right? Being vegan, it's easier for Africans. Here's why. If you don't already know, I've done a few videos about a few things and also veganism. Feel free to go ahead and watch it, so a lot of the things that I say can make sense. So you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It's LLCool space JUWON. And I don't know, comment, let me know what you think. But here's why it's easier for Africans. I'm going to use maybe Nigeria, Ghana, and Liberia to kind of start. If you look at African meals, our base or the ground that we need for our meals is never meat, it's never anything with eggs, and it's never anything with like milk or cheese. Right? That's true. Now, if you look at it, right, we're talking about traditional food, not the new things that are being invented now that people are trying and getting creative with it. If you look at our traditional foods, it never starts with milk, egg, or meat. Milk, egg, it never starts with any of those. Let me give you a few examples. Because people always tell me, oh, so do you still eat Nigerian food or African food? Absolutely, I still do. You just take the meat out of it. That's it. Because most of the time, our food does not even have cheese or eggs, like embedded in it, kind of, right? So let's look at some Nigerian food. Let's start with some Nigerian food. Let's look at some Nigerian food. You have your pounded yam, which is made with yam. Unless if you're buying the flour one, which is made with something else. But still, there's no meat in it, there's no milk, there's no cheese, there's no eggs. You have your amala, same thing, right? I think that's, you have your fufu or your plantain fufu, you have your rice, you have your beans and so on. None of those do you need meat to start, right? Let's look at the stews or the soups. You have efo or egusi, which is melon seeds, efo, which is spinach, which you can use regular spinach or you can use kale. Then you have your like the ofada sauce or the designer stew, which is green peppers, okra, which is vegetable. So a lot of those stews and soups, the beginning is always like a vegetable, or it comes from some kind of fruit seed or some kind of leaf. It's never meat. So therefore, you can pretty much cook it and just do not add the meat to it. That's a fact. I know because I've done it myself. And the truth of the matter is, there are people that are going to say, oh, but it's not going to taste the same. I need my meat. I need my meat. I can probably cook than most people. I can cook more than a lot of people. Let's put it that way. And that's not me bragging. I just know that I can cook, so you can get mad at that if you want. If you know you can cook, then you shouldn't feel somehow about it. And I can probably say that I can cook you the same thing that you cook without the meat, and you will probably like mine. The only reason you might like yours more is strictly because of meat, but mine is still going to have the taste in it. So the point I'm trying to make is you can still cook and still eat those dishes, just do not add the meat. Like, is your okra going to taste the same with meat? Absolutely. It might, I mean, it's not going to taste exactly the same because you're not going to have the meat stock in it. And you don't necessarily need to, like when I cook now, when I'm making African food, I don't use any stock. I just use water, and trust me, it tastes just fine. I have references if you want to speak to my references. It tastes just fine. And it might even taste better than yours. Not to be disrespectful. All right, let's look at maybe some Ghanaian food. You have your red, which is beans. Y'all don't put any meat in it. Y'all might put the stock, or I don't really know how you guys cook it, but you don't have to put the meat in there, is my point. You have your wache, which is rice and beans. There's no meat in there unless you're getting fancy with it. All right, you have your palm nut soup or your peanut butter soup or your omatua or something like that, I think it's called. None of those do you need meat or milk or cheese to begin with. And if you look at Liberian food, they have their fried greens, which is potato greens and oil and peppers and so on. Tobogi, I think that's made with beans and a few other things, right? So it's never a meat. So that's part of why it's easier for Africans. Like, we're just used to seeing a lot of meat in our dishes, and we think that that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's how you know that we've been programmed, because those are things that our parents passed down to us. So you have to think about it. Just because it's something that they're passing down to us, that doesn't mean it's right. Like, you have parents that maybe they had a drinking issue, right? And they were always drunk in the house. Does that mean you should not become an alcoholic? No. You can change certain things. And, like I said in my last video, we all have, or maybe you would know somebody, and we can see that, man, this person is getting older. They keep having issues, having to keep going to the hospital and so on. And their diet is horrible. They're eating a whole bowl of rice and a whole bowl of meat right next to it. There's no way you can think after a certain age that's going to be good for you. So those are just a few tips, or those are just a few things why few points why I know you can make African food without the meat, and why it's actually easier for Africans. Now, let's take it a step further. I wasn't even going to add this into this video, but I'm going to do it since I'm here. For other people, maybe people from the island or other cultures or whatever it is, same routine. A lot of you guys' meals, you can kind of take it out of African meals also. Like the Caribbeans, when you do like your rice and peas, you use coconut milk. You don't use regular milk, you use coconut milk. Right, so yes, you can still cook a lot of things that you guys cook also, and you still do not need the meat. Like, I know you guys have the curry goat and all of that, that's banging and all of that. But, if you want to be healthier, just, you're going to have to cut some things out. But let's look at the standard American diet. So I didn't even plan on speaking on this, but I do have some information on it, and I'm going to tell you, and I bet you it's going to make sense. So a lot of us came to America, and we can see what the standard American diet is. The standard American diet is going to do nothing but get you sick. Like, whether you want to believe it or not, and I'm going to break down to you why. When you look at breakfast in America, right, the breakfast is usually some type of scrambled eggs with cheese, or maybe scrambled egg or cheese or no cheese, whatever. Some kind of meat, so maybe pork or sausage or bacon, and pancakes or French toast or waffles, right? Pancakes, they all have eggs in it, they all have butter, they all have milk, right? So right there, let's say, this is how you can know that they pretty much program people to believe that this is the right way to eat without telling them that this is going to get you sick. Let's say I owned a farm. And just brace yourself, because this is very good. Okay, take notes if you have to. Let's say I owned a farm. What is the best way to sell everything on that farm to people, right? It's by making it a necessity. That's just business. Make it a necessity or make it a need, and people are going to buy it. How do you make something a need? Program them to believing that you really need this. So look at it. If I own a farm, right there I have cows. Because I have cows, I have milk. Because I have milk, I have cheese, I have butter, right? Now, I have the farm, so I have chicken. Because I have chicken, I have eggs. And I also have chicken, obviously. And maybe I have pigs. Because I have pigs, I have bacon, I have your ham, and so on. Now, look at your French toast. Your French toast, you need your eggs, you need your milk, which you get from the farm. For your waffles and pancakes, same thing. For your scrambled eggs, you need the egg, you need the cheese, you need the milk. And for what else do you have in your breakfast? For like the sausage links and the pork, you need that from the pork. So right there, if I'm on the farm, I'm selling you everything I have. I always got a customer, because now I got you thinking this is what your breakfast should look like. So people are going to say, yes, but everything is fine in moderation. Yes, that's true. Everything is fine in moderation, but you have to look at it. You eat this same American style breakfast, you eat it from a young age, probably from like 2 or 3 or 4. So you're eating all these things that are bad for you, whether you want to believe it or not. Feel free to do your research. You eat it until you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s. And before you know it, you see why now all of a sudden you're weighing 400 pounds, you're in and out the hospital, because you've spent years and years and years eating all these things that are probably getting backed up, and that's bad for you. So is it okay to eat things in moderation? Yeah, but if you've been eating it for years, eventually it's going to catch up to you, whether you want to believe it or not. So that's a lot of information that I just gave, and I know some people are gonna look at it like, oh, you know, I've been eating these things for years and I'm just fine. That's fine. That might not be you. It might be somebody else that's being affected by it. Your immune system might be stronger, or maybe you just work out a lot more, or maybe you're just finding different ways around it, but it doesn't apply to everyone. Like there's a reason why America has the highest rate of obesity in the world. Like, that's a fact. Google it if you want. There's a reason why. But I'm going to end this video on that note. I don't want to bombard you with too much information. Not really sure what my next topic is going to be, but I have a few topics in my head. I'm just going to try and share with people. And, you know, once again, don't feel offended. This is not to, you know, insult anyone. Like I said in my previous video, if you can share information to help people, do it. You know, don't hold back something that might save somebody's life. You know, and, you know, hopefully people can start just making better decisions in terms of what they eat. And any questions, you can always comment, or you can email me. I think my information is there, or you can comment on my Instagram. Whatever it is you want to do, feel free to reach out to me. And very important, you know, take time to do your own research. You know, regardless of what I say, a lot of times it might pass a lot of people. Until you research it by yourself, that's when you're going to see like, oh man, I think he's right. So I know this video took a little bit of a turn because I went from African food to American food, but I just kind of wanted to give things from different angles. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.